Now to very big buildings, for our practice, very big buildings. It's interesting, we've never been a commercial practice. We've never done any commercial work up until our urban workshop project, which is where I'll end this section on. But we did, again, all but one of these was a competition, start to, I don't know, be convincing to developers that we could do big buildings. It's not really where we see ourselves going as a practice. I think it's been an interesting 5-year history, but to us, we still want to continue. Our self-image is being a practice very much that engages with civic buildings, university and research buildings, and houses. So I've got an interesting sort of attitude to these buildings, but they are engaging. It's very rewarding to do buildings of this scale. I have shown this before, so I'll just jump. QV was the first of these up until this point. Our tallest building was 2 stories, and this was a competition for a 44-storey building. So we had to convince them that scale was of no concern. So our audacious opening image was to say scale doesn't worry us. If you put all of our houses end to end, they equalled the height of a 44-storey building. And somehow that the client Grocon was into a new stage of life, and that kind of appealed to them. Out of that sort of seemingly quite flippant thing became, well, maybe we can look at some of the strategies of our houses, the open-endedness, the frayed ends, the engagement with the city by exposing the inner workings of the program became a theme that ended up into that building. And there its place in the edge of the city CBD. And then to Dock 5. This was the only one. There was a competition for Bovis Land Lease on Melbourne's new waterfront on the old harbour area, and the idea of examining the way residential componentry could be worked into a vast floor plan for a residential environment. The whole thing is, the building is engaged in that one major sort of fascination with the family home, which is lines of view. The way, on no matter even the most urban site, but particularly of our coastal housing, will contort the plan to actually maximise areas of views and provide distinction in views. So the quilting in this facade is so that, like, unlike so many blocks of flats, it's a bit like blinkers on a racehorse. You can see people get a sort of subjected to one little component of a broad panorama. We've actually pushed the floor plate around so that none of the views are clipped like that. It actually opens up the view between each of the apartments, and then one of the penthouses cantilevers out into space. Working with artists again, Danny Marty, with all of his wonderful woven artworks, and doing this in concrete, in fibre reinforced lightweight concrete in the front foyer with this massive rope woven foyer. Up into the penthouses at the top of the building, and the views out showing this way. By crinkling the facade, we've enabled people to get much more whole segments of a broad panoramic view. Again, I just got to touch on one part of this project because I've still got houses up ahead. How am I doing for time? This is a very large project. We won just over 12 months ago for Westfield to work in the city of Sydney, right in the vast centre. The city has their version of your vast telecommunications tower, and it's called the Centre Point Tower. And because it's been there for so long, nothing's built around it. It's got this great zone of just low-rise with sort of much lower buildings in it. Westfield have bought the whole lot, a whole city block, and turned into a vast shopping precinct. Over time, we won the competition to actually work on the facades, but none of the interiors. We tend not, in fact, we've never done retail work, but we're just to work on the facades and the public areas, and provide and design this new tower. So I thought I'd just show you one aspect of the tower, which was this. Because of its proximity to other buildings, we thought an oval-shaped tower would be interesting. It broadens sight lines in a busy city grid, but also then by making it egg-shaped, we could actually draw all the vertical rising of the core of this building to the back. So it's actually in plan, it's an egg-shaped tower. Here's how it will sit adjacent to the, I mean, that shows how tall the Westfield Tower is. Our building's, I think, 37 floors high. So down below, all of these bridges and vast retail area, but up above this egg-shaped plan that sits above, there's a massive sky lobby. You'll change lifts and get into the commercial lifts